So, have you ever listened to a native English speaker and just thought, wow, how do they make it sound so smooth? Well, here's a little secret. It's not about knowing a ton of extra words. It's about knowing the hidden rhythm of the language. And today, we're going to find that rhythm together.
I mean, you've done the work, right? You've memorized the vocabulary, you've studied the grammar rules, but then you get into a real conversation and it just sounds completely different. It's fast, everything's connected, and it's just full of emotion. If that feeling sounds familiar, don't worry. You are in exactly the right place.
See, this is what I'm talking about. In your textbook, you learn to say every single word perfectly clearly. I want to go to the park. But in the real world, you're way more likely to hear something like, I want to go to the park. It's just faster, smoother, it flows. Today, we are going to close that gap for good.
And here's the key. The solution isn't about cramming more words into your brain. No way. It's about learning two simple things. The music of the language, that's the feeling behind the words, and the shortcuts that native speakers use all the time to create that effortless flow.
Okay, so let's start with the first one, the music of speech. This is all about what we call emotional intonation. It's what puts the feeling, the life, into the words. It's basically what stops us from sounding like robots.
So, what is emotional intonation really? It's just the melody of your voice. You know, how your pitch goes up and down. By just changing that melody, you can completely change the meaning of what you're saying without changing a single word. It's the difference between asking a question and making a statement, or showing you're excited versus, well, not so excited.
You might be wondering, just how powerful is this? Well, let's take one little word and see how many different feelings we can pack into it. You ready to give it a try with me?
Okay, the word is really. Let's do this together. First, for surprise, your voice goes way up at the end. Try it. Really. Now for doubt, it kind of goes down, then back up. Really. For disapproval, keep your voice low and flat. Really. For certainty, it's a sharp drop. Really. And for pure enthusiasm, make it high and fast. Really. See that? 5 totally different meanings from just one word. That's the power of the music.
Awesome. So now that we've got a feel for the music, let's dive into that second key, the shortcuts. Honestly, this is the secret ingredient that explains why native speakers can sound so fast. Once you get the hang of these, your listening and your speaking are going to improve like crazy.
So the biggest shortcut is something called a reduction. This is just when we shorten and blend common little words together to keep the rhythm of the sentence going. And it's not about being lazy. It's actually about being efficient. English focuses on stressing the important words, so we kind of squish the little connecting words to make it all flow smoothly.
Let's look at a super common one. In casual conversation, you'll almost never hear someone say, want to. Instead, we just shrink it down to wanna. It just becomes one smooth sound, like, I want to eat.
And here's another one you'll hear all the time. When we're talking about the future, going to almost always turns into gonna. I'm gonna call him. It's just faster, smoother, and sounds completely natural.
Now this one is really cool because it shows how sounds can actually blend together across words. The did sound at the end of did and the y sound in you kind of merge together to make a ja sound. So didja becomes didja, as in, did you see that?
Okay, you've learned about the music and you've learned about the shortcuts. Now for the fun part. Let's put it all together and transform those slow, clunky words into some natural, flowing speech.
Let's try these out. I'll say each one slowly first, then at a natural pace. I want you to repeat after me. Ready? First, I'm going to call you later. Now, let's make it natural. I'm going to call you later. Good. Next one. Did you finish your homework? And with a shortcut. Did you finish your homework? Okay, next. I want to go to the park. Becomes, I want to go to the park. And one more. Can you give me that? Becomes, can you give me that? You're doing great.
Okay, your turn to fly solo. Go ahead and pause right here and try saying those sentences out loud. And remember, the goal here isn't to be super fast. It's all about finding that smooth flow. Really feel how the words start to connect and glide into one another. Okay, you have the tools now. You've practiced the techniques. The final step, and this is the most important one, is to make these skills your own, a real part of how you speak English every day. So if you take away just one thing from all of this, please let it be this. Sounding natural in English isn't about memorizing a mountain of new vocabulary. It really just comes down to 2 keys: learning the music of your emotions and using those handy shortcuts. That's it. That's the secret.
So here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. First, pick an emotion. maybe excitement or surprise, and record yourself saying 5 totally different sentences with that feeling. Next, I want you to write 3 of your own sentences using wanna, gonna, or didya. Then, practice saying them, going from slow to fast. And finally, listen back to your recordings and maybe compare them to a native speaker you hear in a movie or online. Pay attention to that rhythm and flow. This is how you really make these skills stick.
You see, when you start to master the music and the shortcuts of English, you're doing so much more than just learning a language. You're learning how to truly connect and communicate. You're not just translating words anymore, you're expressing who you are. So, the only question left is, what will you say with your new voice?